he is being so risky in his behaviour that he may risk a snap election, and it may, as Ken has just hinted, go wrong. That could go wrong.
I don't think he's going to do a snap election. No. And I would say this, that morale amongst Labour MPs is better than it's been for
and I'm not saying that the consensus is for a snap election. No. What I'm saying is that it's hard, as you know, it is hard to lock down speculation once it starts. No, it has a life of its own.
I'd stamp on it if I was him, because I think the reality is there isn't going to be a huge Labour lead in the polls next year. It's going to be a very difficult year. It will be tight. And the next general election will be tight. The big difference is 6 months ago, no one thought we were going to get anything other than a Tory landslide.
But Ken, why on earth would you think that it was going to be better in the autumn or the spring of 2010?
Sorry, of 2010.
Than it would be in the spring of 2009.
I
mean, given that you think the recession's going to be long and difficult.
I think the recession will occupy most of next year. And I mean, if it goes horribly wrong, it could go into 2010, and we would be smashed. But I think we'll be coming out.
If it's as big as what you said in the film, it will certainly go into 2010.
The recession was over for long over for the Tories by 1997. Indeed, growth had returned rather well to the economy, and living standards were rising again.
From 92.
People still wanted their revenge for that 92 recession.
But it was more than that. It was the Tory party had lost the will to live. I mean, they hated each other more than they hated us. And half the Tory party saying, let's lose this one and we'll get the Holy Grail and come back.
And that's not true of Labour, for all the problems it has.
They seen it. Well, actually, I don't think you have got great factions. What they see is the chance of securing a fourth term. We're not going to have that sort of...
Labour looked like that 6 weeks ago. I agree they don't look like that now, but 6 weeks ago it looked like a lot of Labour people wanted to lose the election, get on with the fight.
No, there was a small group of ultra-Blairites.
The press, the media, broadcasters as well as newspapers, we always jump on the most recent poll when it's different, and the one we all jumped on is the Murray one this week, which sees the Tory lead down to 3%. Now that could be a rogue poll, but I think it's undeniable that there's been a trend to reduce the Tory lead. Has that trend got durability?
Probably. I mean,
even in a recession, as house possessions rise, unemployment rises, all the economic figures go negative, pain is rampant.
Well, John Major won. John Major won in 92 when we were in a recession, and I believe Gordon Brown can.
Is it durable, this trend?
Well, I think it could last to the spring, and I am a spring election man. And
you mean he should go, or you think he will go?
Both.
Both. You think he will? I know that you think he should.
Yeah, no, I think he will, because I think he has become, the opposite of what he was. He has become quite impetuous. And by the way, Ken, there's no reason why you wouldn't launch an election campaign when you were behind in the polls, for two reasons. I mean, one, that the government normally makes that
gains during the campaign.
But also, remember, Labour don't have to do nearly as well as the Tories to win the election because of the way the vote falls.
I mean, I don't think we would be anything other than mad to have an election until we've come out of the recession. And I think there's a very good chance of that by this time next year.
Well, I think you better change the Parliament Act, because I think it's going to last a bit longer than that.
Well, we're all guessing here. I've naturally gone through life as an optimist. I even thought we might have a chance of winning the 1983 election. I don't get
let me get that right. You thought Labour had a chance to make the 1983 election?
I throw myself into these
Then
things.
I don't think Mr. Brown should be listening to you on electoral advice.
Well, wait a minute, that's the one they lost by promising to nationalise the banks.
And if only we'd done that...
It'll never happen. It'll never happen. The argument against going for an election, and from Mr. Brown's part, is that the Tories could run quite an effective, it's a cut-and-run election. It's going to be a lot worse than you've told us, and you want to get back in before the tax goes up, unemployment reaches 3 million, fire and brimstone, Sodom and Gomorrah, end of the world as we know it. That could be quite an effective Tory campaign.
Yeah, I think it could, and that's why, if he does call a snap election, it could go wrong, as Ken hinted. Look, the next election should be exciting. We don't know who's going to win.
This is true.
And I think it will be quite close.
The first time since 1992, when most of us got it wrong, because we thought Labour was going to win.
I think this is an election to fight for.
And it's Gordon the Gambler.
Well, I think one thing I think the real weakness of politicians is a lot of them are risk averse. Yeah. And in this game, it's like business. You need to take risks and gamble. And very often, if you keep putting everything off, all your options are closed down anyhow.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Ken, good to have you on the programme. Come back and see us.
Take a risk, have me back.
And it's a big risk, I want you to know. But we're up for it. Now